Christianity in America is misunderstood by Christians nationwide. Christians are taught and hear that America was founded by Christians for Christians. Because of the upbringings of America, Christianity as a whole believes God blessed America due to its faithful foundings. The truth of the matter is, many founders were not believers and had skewed views of Christianity. Many modern Christians in America want America to be founded by Christians, so they believe this fact. Very similarly to coffee, Christians do not know everything that goes into the production of coffee. We do not appreciate nor want to understand how it's made from the beginning. From the picking to the pouring, coffee is a delicious beverage that has a dirty, misunderstood beginning.
Step 1. Picking the coffee bean. Coffee is first picked while it is a red cherry form. The red cherries are only cherries that are picked. Those red cherries that are picked are symbolic of the people who first came to America because they wanted religious freedom. Those red cherry settlers were unrefined, like the cherry. However, they were motivated by their desire to God's blessed nation throughout the historical refinement.
American Christians are likewise being subject to a refinement process where they are being called to distinguish themselves from an inherent Christian nation. Born-again believers must leave this misconstrued notion of Christianity behind and break free from their restrictive mindset, the coffee bean shell, and emerge with a new perspective of Christianity, the coffee bean. Although the United States is generally regarded as a Christian country, the U.S. Constitution did not include direct references to God or particularly induce his favor. However, following the Civil War, a group of ministers known as the NRA proposed a Christian amendment to the Constitution. Rejecting the nation's complacence and its government's indifference toward Christianity, they desired to establish a U.S. nation of faith. Much like the friction in the milling process, the resistance of the NRA and other groups who refused to be party to culturally accepted views of Christianity is what sets them apart from general society, just as the coffee bean from the parchment.
Step 3. Drying process. Coffee beans must be dried 3 to 5 days under the sun. For this part of the process, time is needed to dry out the beans so that it can move on to the next process. Like Christianity in America, with dealing with those of different races, such as slaves in the colonies through the Civil War and up to the Civil Rights Movement. It took time for Christians in America to realize that other races were also made in the image of God, and that whites were not inferior to any other race, but were actual equals.
Step 4. Parchment removal. There is still a fine layer of skin on the bean that needs to be removed. Once this is removed, the coffee takes the form Americans know and love. This fine layer of skin is similar to some Americans' personal belief of what they know Christianity in America to be. It is these mass misconceptions, such as prosperity, about America that have permeated America and contributed to the misunderstandings of religion and Christianity. Once this layer of misunderstanding and preconceived notions are removed, Christians can be vulnerable and authentic to share the true love of coffee, Christianity, to those around them.
Boom.
Step 5. Roasting. Roasting coffee transforms the physical and chemical properties of the coffee beans and gives the coffee its characteristic flavor. Different components are added during this stage to create balance or enhance flavor. Our nation has historically undergone an ongoing refinement whereby Americans' use of Christianity chemicals have ultimately defined, established, and transformed our misconception of Christianity in America, particularly during the First Great Awakening. Zealous Christians, evangelicals, condemned state-supported religion and claimed that it impeded true faith. As a result, many rejected the widely accepted Anglican Church and left to form impassioned churches that refused to ascribe to the morally flawed system engrossed with position and power. Much like the refinement that occurs during the roasting process, the First Great Awakening contributed to the transformation of the church, just as the heat alters the bean to enhance the flavor of the coffee. Likewise, the modern-day church has been refined by its battle to preserve the God-ordained structure of marriage and the family. The larger society continues to promote views and lifestyles contrary to God's word. The church can either stand firm on biblical principles or compromise on this issue. Whatever direction they choose, the characteristic flavor of the church will be affected and will either produce a sweet or bitter aroma to the Lord.
Final step, pour it into the cup. Christianity has been poured out into America in forms of many denominations. This is like many different types of coffee. We can enjoy the various coffee blends just as America can enjoy religious freedom because of those who helped establish these rights so long ago. Many forms of Christianity exist in the United States today. Some we agree with theologically and others that may simply disagree with. Most importantly, the option is there for us, and we are not just subjected to agree with one form of Christianity or religion. Just like going into a cafe, we can choose either Sumatra, house blend, decaffeinated, etc. We choose how we worship and are going to worship here in the U.S.
In conclusion, Christianity in America has been a process, beginning in a shape that is completely different from today. Without the founders of America, Christianity would not be free like it is today. Very similarly to coffee, without red cherry coffee beans, we would not enjoy the convenience of Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, or Keurig machines. Americans would appreciate and understand the history and freedom of American Christianity more if they saw the process of American Christianity for what it is, not an ideal story. Just like coffee, Americans would appreciate it much more if they saw the journey the bean has taken from the jungle to the taste buds. Our encouragement to the class is to take time, reflect, and educate yourself as much as possible to understand the history of American Christianity. Understanding will help you build a deeper appreciation for what we enjoy in modern American society.